All right, so guys, I just played through the Pikmin 4 demo. I have to compose myself genuinely. Like I am so excited for this game. I mean this completely 100% honestly. This is everything I have ever wanted in a Pikmin game. I think it's anything that Pikmin fans have wanted for decades from Pikmin, from this series, being fully realized into one unique package, and I'm all here for it. I said this before earlier in the year, and like I don't think people agreed with me on it, and I don't think people thought I was being serious with it, but I mean it completely. This is my game of the year so far. Like I am looking at this as the biggest game potentially of my life, and I'm not even joking with that. I know it sounds like crazy and hyperbolic, right? There's just so many things in this that are complete steps in the right direction, and there's so much I want to talk about with it. I guess first, actually, let me just play some clips of my reactions to playing through this demo, and I'll get back to you right away. Oh my god. Holy shit, that is bad ending Olimar. Oh my god. Bro. I'm so pumped right now. You got me, Nintendo. You have me. So this is like an alternate. Bro. I have so much I want to talk about with this. It's crazy. Oh my god, they have like Olimar ship entries, and they're also like the Pikmin. This is sick. I'm in love with this. So in love with this, dude. Oh my god. And the controls are like the first game. Dude. Oh, I just wish I could change. You can change the camera? Bro, this game is amazing. This is like the first two games camera controls. You're not fixed to one location. This is sick. I love this game. I absolutely love this game already, dude. This is so... I'll pass my turn. Like, I wish you guys could see my face right now, because I'm grinning ear to ear right now. I have the goofiest grin on my fucking face. I'm so happy. This is everything I've ever wanted to see in Pikmin. Since the first game, this is the fully realized vision, dude. I'm just in awe. I'm genuinely just in awe. So, as I mentioned, Pikmin 4, this demo, the best summarization of what I've experienced playing through this and seeing all the trailers and the footage is they're combining all of the best aspects of every single one of these games, finally acknowledging things that the fans and the fan base have wanted to see return or be done in Pikmin, and are realizing it and putting it together in this package that realizes the essence of what Pikmin is for a lot of people. And I think that's something that was lost in a vision before, you know, like as much as I like Pikmin 3, I think Pikmin 3 was definitely Miyamoto trying to create his own vision for the series that wasn't necessarily why people had fallen in love with it, right? Pikmin 3 was definitely a strategy-based game. It was really focused on the hardware. It was focused on using the gamepad and motion controls, and it was something that was a title that, you know, it didn't really have the same level of feeling of exploration as the other games did, right? With Pikmin 1, you had, you know, all these, you know, areas, and it was a brand new game that had unique enemy designs, and the puzzles sure were linear, but it was like, you know, it was something that was unique in its own right for being the first title. Pikmin 2 was kind of like adding the exploration element to it, right? You had procedurally generated dungeons, you had a kind of open area exploration, you had maps and areas that, like, you know, dynamically changed and altered depending on the days, and just everything. There were things that made the game feel unique, right? It made it feel like you were actually an explorer in like a foreign land. And Pikmin 3 was definitely just a bit of a task management game. It was more like, how many things can you do in one day? How fast can you do this? That sort of thing, you know? And I think that kind of, because they threw a lot of the old things in and they took a lot of things out, things that people liked, you know, like the Piclopedia and, you know, the original characters. They added in brand new characters, sure, but I mean, like, you know, characters that people really liked to see and experience in their playthroughs in the first two games. A lot of the cheeky commentary and even some of the more grim and dark scenarios were toned down a bit in Pikmin 3. And with Pikmin 4 here, it's all coming back in full force. I am so down for this. They're adding in so many new elements too. There's just so much to talk about. So Pikmin 4, this demo has so much new content and so much in terms of a transformation of the series. Now, there's, I mean, I don't even know how to like start this. Like, one of the things I'll start off with right out the gate is I love that there's an upgrade system in the game. I love that you can find ways to slowly kind of progress your characters, and I love that there is a customization feature as well. Your character creator lets you genuinely just make your own protagonist in Pikmin. That's something that people have wanted for a really long time, which is pretty awesome to me too. The fact that there are upgrades to not only you but to Ochi as well, and even to your Pikmin capacity in the overworld. You start off at 20, you can go up to, I believe, 100. Is all fantastic stuff. I'm so excited, so happy to see that they are giving you, you know, gradual progression, reason to feel like, you know, you're moving up in the ladder as you explore more of the world and become more seasoned in your ability to, you know, control this small army of Pikmin. It's great. It's a great progression system, because I feel like that's something that Pikmin did struggle with in the past, where you kind of were throwing everything in the kitchen sink at once, and it wasn't necessarily overwhelming, but it felt like there was no way to really grow from the point that you started, right? Here you feel like you have choice, you have agency, and I appreciate that, because that's something that it gives you the dopamine rush when you're playing games, right? I guess is the best way to put it. But overall, the added progression system is fantastic. I love it. I love that there is a base camp, and in this base camp, you see changes that you make to the world based on objectives that you complete. When you collect castaways, for example, right? And you go back to the base camp, the castaways will be at the base camp and will give you new things to do. I found an appraiser in the demo, and the appraiser, you know, you can go to him, and he's essentially like the ship's treasure log from Pikmin 2, where he, you know, gives you flavor text on all the different treasures that you have, and gives you like their own unique spin on things, which is super cool. You know, like Colin gives you the ability to look at your main missions and objectives. Shepard gives you I almost call them Poochie, gives you Ochi upgrades. And then I can't even remember his name, the guy who looks like Flipbug from Pikmin, from Pokemon. He gives you the ability to turn your resources into physical upgrades too. That's another thing too. The resource system, I love it. I love it, because now you have additional collectibles in the world that you kind of have to micromanage on top of normal collectibles that you find in the areas. And that's something that I love, because it's not only something that you use for your upgrades, right? But you also have to manage it in your head. Okay, I have to use it for this upgrade, or I want to save up enough resources for this upgrade. But at the same time, I need to use resources to build these bridges, or to, you know, create a stone wall that I need to climb up. And in order to, you know, reach this area or do this objective, I need to collect a certain amount of resources for this. You have to micromanage how much resources you're using in specific locations at specific periods of time, which are it's A+ stuff, man. I love it. I love that they're really throwing all these new ideas in, and it's feeling natural. The level design and the world design is feeling natural with this game. And man, I guess there's so many things in this demo that I want to talk about, you guys. So I mean, I love the open area exploration. I love that you can move your kind of area of operations with your ship in the Onion to different landing spots within one big open area. It's all great. I love that enemy corpses, not just boss corpses, but enemy corpses will stay the next day if you don't collect them. That's a fantastic quality of life improvement. And it also, I think it also kind of makes enemy encounters feel a lot more trivial, but I'll get into that one later too. But at the same time, you know, like when I saw the dead bulb orbs were still there the next day, I'm like, wow, that's kind of crazy. So I mean, that's a big plus too. Caves are back. That's fantastic. Now I have to replay the demo to see if I notice any changes, but it seems to me, because of how meticulous the level design is with the caves, that they are not procedurally generated here, that they're all made from scratch and they're all designed in a specific way. They kind of feel like, and maybe I'm jumping the gun in this, but I feel like Pikmin, like Miyamoto, I should say rather, he saw Breath of the Wild and was like, man, I want to do that with Pikmin. and like the caves are kind of like shrines in Breath of the Wild, if that makes sense, right? I haven't seen a cave that was any bigger than like 2 or 3 sublevels now. And each of them, you know, has like their own mini puzzles and like small things to do. And I mean, I like that they're back, because it adds that level of you know, of flavor and discovery that wasn't in Pikmin 3, for example, right? Even if they're not procedurally generated, I like that. I feel like there's more of an ability to just, you know, do things and explore new areas and find new cool things to engage with outside of just the normal exploration of the world. It makes the game feel longer too, you know. It makes the game feel padded out in a good way, because with Pikmin 3 I feel like it was kind of a one and done. You know, you go through the days and it felt pretty quick. It felt really linear. Here I feel like I have agency. I have the ability to go around in different areas and choose where I want to go and how I want to do things within a specific area, which is a great feeling to have. It's a great feeling to give your players agency in the world and in the game. And again, like I said it already, but there's so many things I want to talk about with this demo. I guess we'll get into the story stuff next, right? So, man, I'm so happy that the fan theories about bad ending Olimar are real now. But my question is, you know, is this going to be like a retelling of Pikmin 1, or is this like Olimar crash landed again on the planet? It seems like it's a retelling of Pikmin 1 because he's with the dolphin, and a lot of the parts that he lost initially with the dolphin are back. So I mean, I'm assuming this is like maybe some alternate timeline thing, or they're retconning the series maybe, where Olimar, you know, crash lands on the planet and then he doesn't end up making it out on his own, right? Like something happens to him, and he ends up turning into like a Pikmin creature, which, you know, you can see that by the intro of the game, the fact that he's with the dog, that it looks like him anyway. Everyone thought it looked like him, but it confirms it completely 100%. I like that story element, that, you know, like there's a bit of a mystery behind, okay, why did Olimar end up like this? And man, that gets me to so many cool fan theories. Like, but the number one thing I want to bring up with it, which I think is awesome, is that they're bringing back the kind of morose and grim storytelling that was known in the original Pikmin, in Pikmin 2, where things got really dark and like really creepy, you know. And I feel like they toned it down a little with 3, but in 4 now it's full force again, man. Like Olimar died on the planet, and now he's like a weird, disgusting alien creature. You can't see his family anymore, you know. And there's just a lot of like dark humor in the game too. Like some of the lines that Colin and Shepard were saying in the game were just so funny to me. Like these characters, no knock to Pikmin 3. Okay, yeah, actually never mind. Complete knock to Pikmin 3, right? As much as I kind of liked Alf, Brittany, and Charlie, they were kind of boring. I'm gonna be honest with you, they were kind of boring. Their writing wasn't that great. I liked that Brittany was sassy, and Charlie was kind of like a goofball and stuff, but there wasn't a whole lot to their characters that made them stand out compared to like Olimar, Louis, and the President, right? They didn't have as much personality, I feel. They feel like they had like one gimmick trait thing, and that was it. Like the captain was his rubber duck, Charlie was his rubber duck, Alf was, oh well, I'm the reasonable level-headed one, and Brittany was like the sassy one, and that was like it. With this, I feel like there's so much like detail in these characters' personalities. Like Shepard, I love that her whole backstory is that, you know, she was rescued by like a space pup as a kid, and now she has a love for dogs, but at the same time she's terrified of like regular animals. Like she's scared of the Pikmin. She visibly hides behind Colin when she sees the Pikmin. You find her in a cave surrounded by infant bulborbs, and she's like terrified up there. You know, it's just like so much cool personality. Colin, he has like a really sarcastic sense of humor, and he's like super like I guess like you know, what's the word, but he's very down to earth, which is, I think is funny and cool too, right? Like these characters all have unique and awesome personalities, which is great. I love it. But at the same time too, you know, the mystery behind the story so far is what engages me with it, because like Pikmin 3 especially was super cut and dry. It was, oh, we have to go to the planet and get food for our planet. And then it was, okay, well, we crashed and we have to get our ship's warp drive key, and Olimar's the one who have it, so we have to find Olimar. And I mean, there were some like interesting twists and turns with Louis and everything there, and them trying to find it. But ultimately, you know, the story was straightforward. There wasn't really much of an intrigue behind it that kept you playing, because you kind of knew how it was going to end up, right? But with Pikmin 4, man, like, I want to figure out why Olimar turned out the way he is, right? Is the final boss going to be, like, I'm assuming the final boss is going to be in the house or something, right? But, like, is the final boss going to be, like, the Pikmin? Like, is there going to be, like, an evil form of Pikmin that, like, took Olimar and kidnapped him, and, like, you have to fight against them? Maybe the final boss is, like, Olimar's pet dog or something? Oh, that'd be crazy. Like, there's so many cool, unique things that could ultimately come out of this game, and I'm all here for it, man. There's so many. The Dandori battles are cool. I like that they're integrating that kind of like bingo battle and co-op battle style thing from Pikmin 2 and 3 into the main story, and giving you a kind of you know, extra added gameplay segment in the main story too. I like that there's a little backstory with all the extra castaways, all the civilians who came by, because Olimar sent out his ship logs, and everyone's like, oh, I want to go get, because, you know, all of them are greedy as hell, I want to go get treasures and stuff. I like that they're adding in new planets to the lore of Pikmin, dude. All these characters are from different planets in the universe, and they all have different backgrounds, and it's so cool. I like that each character that you find, each castaway, has like an ID tag that tells you their backstory and who they are. It's such small things, such little details that add to the world building and the growth of this game, and it's something that I've wanted to see in Pikmin for so long. I wanted them to expand upon the world and the lore and just everything in this series, and they're finally doing it. Pikmin 3 took a lot of steps back, in my opinion. I feel like the fruits were really boring. I felt like there wasn't a whole lot in terms of, you know, finding new things to explore and to discover about the world. This is everything that fans have wanted. Like, I genuinely think someone at Nintendo, or maybe even Miyamoto, was like looking at online, you know, Pikmin forums and like Reddit and stuff, and seeing people's like fan ideas and concepts for Pikmin, and was like, you know, that's a good idea. Like, I remember when back in the Wii, right, people were talking about an open world Pikmin game or an MMO Pikmin game, and like, you know, we're brainstorming ideas, people making new mods of Pikmin 2, stuff like that, right? And we're finally seeing these things like realized by Nintendo themselves. Like, they're acknowledging what the fans want, and that is what I love about this overall. This feels to me like an acknowledgement of what fans of Pikmin wanted, and that's crazy. Like, I never thought I'd see the day that Pikmin fans get what they want. And it took 20 years, right? It took 20 years for us to see a title that is exactly what everyone wants out of this series, and I'm so happy to see it. I mean, There's so much else to talk about with this demo. I could go on for ages. The demo is so huge, you guys. Like, I'm gonna go back and play more of it because you can essentially, I mean, I don't think it's fully the case. I think you're capped at certain areas depending on what Pikmin you're able to get, but I think you can literally get like through the entire first area of the game, like and you're fine. Like, as long as you don't collect the 1500 sparklium, you can just keep exploring that beginning area of the game. Like, I ended up stopping because I ended up sequence breaking the game and breaking it, and it was a so I'm probably gonna go back and redo it to see if I can't break it. But still, like, it's crazy to me that they give you so much to do in this demo, because it shows to me that they're really ready to pitch this game to people, and that this game is something that's going to be big, dude. It's going to be huge. There's so much. I love that the old Pikmin music is here. Pikmin 2 boss music is in the game. I love that the Pikmin 2 cave themes are here. I love that the Pikmin 1 music's here. I love that the Pikmin 3 music is in, and there's all remixes of old songs from the series too. And there's even new songs and new, like, I don't know how to best say it other than, this is truly, like, I'm giddy with this game, you guys. And I mean it. Like, some people don't get it. Some people don't understand why people love this series and things like that. But I think people are starting to understand now that there's a lot of popularity around the ports. The demo's out now, right? But this is something that is, like, I haven't had a game that made me feel like a child again. You know what I mean? Like, given me a genuine sense of awe and wonder at what I was experiencing and what I was going through. And Pikmin is a series that, like, was super close to me in my heart. It was, as a kid, I had so much in terms of my imagination going wild with with thinking about where could they take the series next after playing the games. Like, what could they do next? Oh, I wonder if they're going to do this, or they're going to, go explore this or do that, or come up with this new concept, right? And that they're finally doing it 20 odd years later. Like, I'm in awe and I'm giddy. I'm so excited to get this game in my hands. In any case, thank you for listening to me ramble about it. If you guys are excited about Pikmin 4, let me know. I mean, I'm so pumped on this game, you guys. Genuinely. Like, I can't even begin to describe the elation I feel around this title. In any case, thank you guys for listening. I'm going to release a lot more content on this in the game in the future. I already want to go back and play more of the demo. I already want to go and play Pikmin 2 on the Switch and give you guys kind of like a video on that, or a few videos on that. I'm just like, I'm so happy. In any case, thank you guys for listening. I'll talk to you later.